Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Dylan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English lesson with a famous musician Bob Dylan and his girlfriend Sylvie from the movie, A Complete Unknown. It's a great way to practice your listening skills and pick up some phrases, compliments, and idioms to use in everyday conversations. Let's watch and learn.
How old are you?
20?
You wrote those songs?
Yeah, last two.
You good?
Sylvie says, "You're good." Now, in this context, she's not saying he's a good person. She's saying he's talented or skilled at writing songs. It's a casual way to give a compliment in English. You can say this to someone who's good at something, like singing, drawing, or even cooking. For example, if your friend makes a delicious cake, you can say, "Wow, you're good."
How old are you?
20?
You wrote those songs?
Yeah, last two.
You good?
What I mean for my age.
When Bob says, "What you mean for my age?" he's being a little humorous here. He's asking if Sylvie is impressed by his songs just because he's young. It's a funny way to respond to a compliment. For example, you can use this if someone compliments your pronunciation and you want to joke around like, "What you mean for someone who just started learning English?"
You wrote those songs?
Yeah, last two.
You good?
What I mean for my age.
Want a peanut? I used to live on these things when I worked at the carnival.
Bob says, "I used to live on these things." Now, he's not saying he literally lived on peanuts. That would be weird. In English, when we say live on something, it means we ate or used that thing a lot. For example, if you eat pasta every day, you can say, "I live on pasta." It's a fun, exaggerated way to say you really like something or depend on it.
Want a peanut? I used to live on these things when I worked at the carnival.
You worked at the carnival?
Strong men, fire eaters.
Bob mentions strongmen and fire eaters. These are performers you might see at a carnival or circus. A strongman is someone who lifts really heavy things, like weights or even people. And a fire eater is someone who, you guessed it, eats fire. It's a dangerous and exciting performance. So, Bob is describing the kind of people he saw on stage.
You worked at the carnival?
Strong men, fire eaters. One lady, her skin was all burnt off. She looked like a grown-up wrinkly baby.
Wrinkly is an adjective that describes something with a lot of wrinkles, those little lines or folds you see on surfaces. For example, when people get older, their skin can get wrinkly, like a raisin or an elephant's skin. Or if you leave your clothes in a pile for too long, they get all wrinkly too. In this scene, Bob says the woman looked like a grown-up, wrinkly baby, because her skin was badly burned, had a lot of folds, and looked unusual.
She looked like a grown-up wrinkly baby. Yeah. It made me think about people on stage. But anyone who gets on the stage, anyone who's gonna hold your attention on the stage, you have to kind of be a freak.
Bob says, "Have to kinda be a freak." Now, don't worry, he's not being mean. In this context, freak means someone who's unusual or different. Bob is saying that to be a great performer, you need to stand out and be unique. It's like saying, you have to be special to capture people's attention. For example, if someone has a really unique fashion style, you might say, "Wow, they're such a freak in a good way."
Anyone who's gonna hold your attention on the stage, you have to kind of be a freak.
Not everyone.
Anyone's good.
Are you a freak?
Yeah, I hope so.
Frank Sinatra's not a freak.
That voice ain't human.
Bob says that voice ain't human. He's talking about Frank Sinatra, the famous singer. When he says ain't human, he means Sinatra's voice is so amazing it's almost supernatural. It's a big compliment. You can use this phrase to describe something that's so good it's hard to believe. For example, if you see an incredible dancer, you can say, their moves ain't human.
Not everyone.
Anyone's good.
Are you a freak?
Yeah, I hope so.
Frank Sinatra's not a freak.
That voice ain't human. You can be beautiful or you can be ugly, but you can't be plain.
Plain means not decorated in any way, with nothing added. It's ordinary or boring, like a blank piece of paper or a bowl of plain rice.
You can be beautiful or you can be ugly, but you can't be plain. You gotta be something people can't stop looking at, like a train wreck or a car crash. Oh, you seen this?
No. I thought we were going to see Guernica at the museum.
Nah, Picasso's overrated.
Bob says Picasso's overrated. It's controversial. When we say something is overrated, we mean it's not as good as people say it is. For example, if everyone loves a movie but you don't, you can say, I think that movie's overrated. It's a strong opinion, so use it carefully.
Nah, Picasso's overrated. You got $1?
Will you be happy, Charlotte?
Oh, Jerry, don't let's ask for the moon.
So, Betty Davis was a mousy girl.
Bet Davis was a mousy girl. When Sylvie says mousy, she doesn't mean Bet Davis was literally a mouse. In English, calling someone mousy means they're quiet and shy like a mouse, which is small and doesn't stand out much. Bet Davis was an actress who started as a shy, unremarkable girl before she became a star. You might use the word mousy to describe someone who's not very confident or noticeable at first. For example, you might say, she was a mousy girl, but now she's so outgoing.
Betty Davis was a mousy girl who had to escape her domineering mother to find herself. She runs away,
Find herself.
becomes beautiful,
that.
returns home, destroys her mom.
She didn't find
Which I-
herself, like herself with a missing shoe or something.
Find yourself means discovering who you really are. But Bob is joking that it's not like losing a shoe and then finding it. He's saying it's not that simple, it's a process of change. You can use this phrase to talk about personal growth. For example, after traveling the world, I finally found myself.
She didn't find
Which I-
herself, like herself with a missing shoe or something. She just made herself into something different.
Something better.
Different.
Okay.
The next segment does not contain any difficult words, but it is important to understand the whole scene.
You got what you wanted to be in that moment.
What do you want to be?
A musician who eats.
And that's the end of the scene. I hope you enjoyed it. We learned a lot. Try using these words and expressions in your own conversations or writing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.